Hey team, welcome to some seated exercise. My name's Sian and this is my living room. I had every intention of doing this out in the garden, but I'm afraid it was freezing. So I came in, I had a cup of tea, warmed up, and now I'm raring to go, which hopefully you guys are too. Now, today is all about an introduction. We're going to just go through about 20 to 25 minutes of exercise, and that gives us that chance to talk a little bit more about the exercises, why we're doing them, and who I am. So, on to the latter. I am Sian Brooks, I am a personal trainer, and I specialise in exercise rehabilitation after stroke. I've also spent a lot of my time with people doing chair-based exercise, both one-to-one and in groups. And with everything going on at the moment in the world, I felt that I really had to start doing some videos just to help people at home who found themselves self-isolating and potentially chair-bound. Because we all need to work our bodies, no matter whether we are stuck in a chair or marathon runners. We all need to work that circulation and keep our joints healthy, our spines healthy, and our heart and lungs healthy. And that is what chair-based exercise aims to do. So, it is particularly low impact, it's practically no impact, and it's gentle and it is safe. However, there are points today when we'll be doing some standing up, and at that point I will offer you some exercises to do alternatively if you have any difficulty standing. So because you are on your own, potentially, you might have a carer there, which is fine, they can assist. However, if you are on your own, I do not want you putting yourself at any risk whatsoever. So if you do normally have difficulty with your balance or difficulty standing, there are alternative exercises available for you. If you are more than capable, then crack on and you are more than welcome to challenge yourself, okay? But please keep within those realms of safety. That is paramount. There is nobody there to help you out if you end up in a pickle. So, there's only one other rule I have, and that is for all sessions. Please don't ever push through pain. If you suffer with any joint problems like arthritis, then the last thing you want to be doing is creating more of a situation by pushing through the pain. So if you are in that category, then I would challenge the joint up until a point where you feel a bit of a restriction or limitation, and then bring it back down again. There's no need to really push it out there. Just take it to a point that feels good. All right, that is what today is all about. It's about feeling good. Exercise helps reoxygenate the body. It helps wake us up. It helps the blood get around the body. It helps your joints. So you'll find that your joints feel a lot more cushioned, which makes you freer and more mobile around the house. So it will carry you forwards post the C word, we'll call it. Anyway, right, moving swiftly on, we're now going to go through into a warm-up. So, first things first, lift the chest. So I want you to imagine that there is a piece of string attached to your chest and you're pulling, well you're not pulling it, it's pulling you up nice and tall. And we're going to take a big deep breath as we go. So we're going to go, and on the way down, exhale. And we're going to curl the spine all the way down, and then lift all the way back up again. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, up and down. You don't have to do this with your arm, by the way. This is just me symbolising the string. And we're going to come back up into that nice upright position. So you should have felt in that process your spine wake up and your core wake up. That's your abdominal muscles here. So as you lift your spine, just gently pull your belly button back towards your spine. And then that should mean that your whole torso now is nice and supported. That doesn't mean rigid. We're not trying to become Robocops. We want to be nice and relaxed, but supported at the same time. Okay, so that is the foundation of everything we will do. You'll hear me bark on and on about lifting your chest, but that's basically all it is. So we're going to go into a box step. So it's a gentle push forwards and back. So extend the legs one at a time, forwards and back, and hopefully that will just enliven the hip muscles The hamstrings, they're the ones that go down the backs of your legs, and your quads, that's your thigh muscles. So we're just going forwards and back. Nice and loose, and you can make your area as big as you like. So you can, if you've got really long, big legs, you can make a nice big box, or we can have little ones. We get little boxes that fit through our post boxes. All right, into a march. So now we're looking at height. So we're trying to bring the knees up that little bit higher. That engages much more of the muscles in the hips and starts looking at the abdominal muscles. Okay, brilliant. Stop right there. Now we're going to go onto the shoulders. And we're going to go one shoulder at a time, rolling backwards. If your shoulders are anything like mine, or this is first thing in the morning, then they might grind like pepper grinders. If that's the case, don't worry. That's what fluids are for. That's why we're doing this. We're trying to release fluids into all those joints so that they become much more flexible and mobile, and hopefully less painful. Nobody wants to be in pain. Right, we're going to reach up now, one arm at a time. Now, if you have any difficulty reaching up tall like this, just take the arms up as high as you can in front. You can come up to this height, and that's absolutely fine, or you can go the full hog, depending on your own flexibility. If you've got issues with your shoulders, this might restrict you, but go to what feels good for you. Remember, this is all about feeling good. This isn't about really pushing the body as hard as we can, because that can result in pain. And we don't want that burn sensation to give us pain tomorrow. That's good. All right, we're going to reach across the body now. So I want you to go across to the side and back in. Across to the side, back in. This is it. So reaching to the side. We should start feeling much warmer now. So the body should feel ready to do a little bit more now. Our brains should be a little bit more awake. And just in general, we should feel just that little bit warmer. Warming up is not just about temperature. Warming up is all about circulation and just getting ourselves ready for exercise. Excellent. Okay, we're going to go back into box steps. Forwards and back. So forwards, forwards, back, back. Forwards, forwards, back, back. You don't have to go at that speed. You can go slower or you can go faster. It's entirely up to you. Forwards, forwards, back, back. That's it. Okay, if you're finding this quite challenging, then keep doing this particular exercise and take rest if you need to. If you fancy a bit more of a challenge, then we're going to add in a side step. So it's going to go side, side, forwards, forwards, back, back, side, side, forwards, forwards, back, back, side, side. Excellent. Okay, so you might find at this point that your shoulders have started to drift down. So just grab that piece of string, lift it up. Forwards, forwards, back, back, side, side. As you get more and more used to these kinds of routines, you could get some music, put the radio on in the background, get some tunes on, and then you can do it to a rhythm. So just like before, if you're finding this one a bit challenging and you're happy at this level, stay where you are. If you fancy an extra challenge, we're going to bring in the arms. So we're going to imagine that we are Pinocchio and our hands are attached to our feet by string. Forwards, forwards, back, back, side, side. I normally get this completely wrong, so quite relieved. Seems to have knitted in today. My brain has obviously gotten used to it. You just wait for a second though. I'm going to change the leading leg and then it all goes to pot. So we're going to change the leading leg. So it goes, I told you, 1, 2, 3, 4, side. Did I even change my leg? I don't even know. Let's see if I changed it. It feels any different. Oh, I have no idea. That's the last one anyway. Cracking job. All right, give it all a shake. Okay, we're going to take a little bit of a break. So just rest back in your chair, take a big deep breath. And exhale. If you need to have some water, have some water. Okay, sit up nice and tall. That's good. All right, now we're going to go into a speed ball. So I would like you to imagine that there is a ball in front of you, like the boxers have, and picture somebody who has really annoyed you this week. And let's face it, in the current climate, political climate rather, there's bound to be somebody that you can put on that speed ball. All right, now we're going to lift our chests and we're going to send those fists round. All right, now you can go as quickly or as slow as you like. All right. Most important thing though, don't punch yourself in the face. There is nothing worse than doing something like this, getting distracted, and then giving yourself a black eye. We don't want to do that. So keep the arms away from your face. Change direction. We're going back towards you. This is when you're most at risk of hitting yourself in the noggin. I have done this. That is why I warn people. I realise that that sounds like a noddy thing to say, but I have done it. All right, we're going back forwards again. This is good. Well done. If you need to rest, bring the arms back down. So if you need to be down here, then just stay down here. That's totally fine. All right. If you want a bit more challenge for the shoulders, reach up. And then we're going to reach all the way up. So we're reaching up to the ceiling. So some of you might have heart problems, which might render you a little bit more challenged in this department. So if that's the case, bring the arms down. Don't stay up there too long. Bring them down. We don't want the hearts racing. Right, we want to feel good, so just keep the heart rates going, but not going like they're clappers. All right, just let come down, flick it out. We're going to do the same thing now, but we're going to twist to the side. So twist to the side. Make sure you're not sitting really close to somebody. I think they might object to you boxing them in the ribs right now. Okay, twist to the other side. Notice that my whole shoulder, both my shoulders coming round, my whole torso is twisting to the side. I'm not just moving my arms and doing my knitting by my hips, I'm moving my whole body. Good, bring it back to the middle. Smashing job. All right, relax down. Good. So we're now going to go into a bit of a sit to stand routine. Now, as I said at the start, if you have any difficulties with your balance and you normally have trouble standing, then please just do the following exercise, which is a hip walk. So everyone's going to do this, but those of you that struggle with standing are going to continue on this one. And that is basically lifting one side of your pelvis up and pulling it back. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other. So picture your pelvis and we're lifting one side and then the other. And in the process, moving it forwards and back, just as if you are hip walking. So it's just your hips pulling you back to the back of the chair. And then we're going to do the same thing going forwards. All right. So if you have any pain here, I would challenge it a little bit, but not too much. If it's really sharp, then stop and rest. Okay, but those hips can become quite stiff, and that's and you just need to move them, free them up a little bit. So, okay, bring it to the front. So, those of you that are not doing sit to stands, that are carrying on with the hip walking, take a break and then go into that again. If you get bored of doing that, then go back into some box steps. But everybody else, we're going to focus a little bit on the sit to stand technique. And there's a reason for that, why I'm so keen to get this technique out there. And that's because all too often I have seen people grab hold of one arm of the chair, so whichever is your stronger or more dominant side, people grab that arm of the chair, lean on it, twist slightly and stand up like so. So if you're in that category, you know exactly what I mean. So I want to try and get you out of the habit of leaning on the arm of the chair. So what I'd like you to try and do We're going to hold on to our opposite hand, and rather than twist and use the armchair, we're going to push the hands forward. So the hands come between the knees. And all you're going to do to start off with is a simple push forwards and lift the hips ever so slightly off the chair. So we're not standing yet. We're just coming forwards, holding that position, and sitting back. So you see my nose went over my toes. You may not have seen that, but that's what we're trying to do. Nose over toes. That is a rhyme, expression, whatever you want to call it, that I would like you to take forwards from this session. Nose over toes. That means that the weight is coming forwards onto the balls of your feet, engaging the muscles and allowing you to control the movement. So you come forwards and we hold and sit back down again. Now, if you're quite mobile, and that is quite easy, we're going to come all the way up and stand. Coming up and stand tall. And as we stand, we're lifting through the chest, belly button in, and then slowly sit back down again. Okay, then we're going to do it again. Up, stand slow, and down. So the slower you go, the more muscles you use. That means more signals going to your brain. That means that your balance should be better, at least over time. And the more controlled you do it, the happier your brain will feel, I can assure you. And the happier your back will feel. Right, we're going to add in a reach up. So if you want that bit of extra challenge, reach up and down. The other thing about doing things slowly is you have far more time then to react to any form of instability. If you do things quickly, that's when things tend to go a little bit awry, as it were. Stand nice and tall. That's good. Okay, slowly sit down. Smashing job. Give it a flick out. So in future sessions, we will go through that more and we'll look more into the technique of the sit to stand, and we'll do more things standing up. And hopefully everybody who was potentially a little bit weaker in that department by the end will be super sit to standers. And as a result, you'll have stronger quads, stronger thighs, stronger buttocks, and have better balance overall. Okay, feet now. We're going to give the legs a little bit of a rest and the upper body a little bit of a rest, and we're going to focus on the feet. So we're going to tap the heels. God, did you hear that crack then? That was my ankle. I don't know. Anyway, tapping the toes. Then tapping the heels. So we're going to lift the heels up and down. Now, because this is in our lower limbs, so it's in our ankles, our feet and our calf muscles, that is a really common place to get swelling. Some of you might know exactly what I'm talking about here. And that's just as a result of gravity holding on to that fluid in the bottoms of our legs. Now, one way to help get rid of that is to elevate the legs. And the other way is to do basic exercise to increase the circulation to those areas, which is exactly what we're doing here. Alright, so we're just going from one to the other, toes and then heels. So we do about 6 of each. Alright? Good. And anyone who suffers with night cramps in the calf will benefit from doing this type of thing. At the end, we'll go through a nice stretch for the calf muscles, which you could be able to do at night if the circumstances allow. And that then helps relieve off that cramp. But we must have warm muscles preferably. We want to get that blood flowing to the muscles so that we get the most out of the stretch if we can. Good. So you can do that at any speed. So you can do it super slow or you can do it super fast. If you're the quick step champion, then fill your boots. This will be your move. Right, that's enough of that. Give it a shake. We'll always do an element of lower limb mobility just because that circulation to that area is so important. Back to the chest. Piece of string lifting you up. Belly button back towards the spine. We're now going to do some exercises for the abdominal muscles Now, you have got layer upon layer of abs. Your six-pack muscles are not just there for vanity reasons, they are there to protect your whole body. Imagine your core, imagine your abdominal muscles are like the foundations are to your house. If they are weak, you are weak. You move in a weak fashion and you'll be in pain as a result. So we want to make sure we challenge these muscles here, and then that keeps your back lovely and supported. Right, in this position, we're going to gently lean back. Only a couple of inches, not all the way back into the chair. We want to be about, 45 degrees, or that's not 45 degrees, is it? Oh, there'll be some mathematicians out there wanting my head right now. Whatever that angle is there, more than 90. Anyway, let's get away from the maths. We're going to do some twists. So with both hands, we're going to twist to the side, and I want you to move your whole body round and tap the side of the chair. Then slowly go to the other side and tap the side of the chair. Now that range of movement is going to be different for everybody. Some of you will be able to go all the way around. Some of you may only be able to get to the front, or even to one thigh or the other. That's totally fine. This is about finding which bit suits you, which bit challenges you, and stick to it. And do as many as you can, nice and slow and controlled, keeping that chest out. So easy done, isn't it? So easy to come down into that position. I do it all the time. I have to shoot myself, not literally obviously, to slap myself. So we should feel it around this area here. So what we're doing here is we're using those oblique muscles, the ones that make up your waistline. That's it. And they really play a massive role in supporting your spine. Good. All right, back to the middle. Oh, let's give it all a good shake. Have a rest if you need to. Have another drink of water if required. Otherwise, sit up nice and tall, because we're going to go back into that boxing side of things now. So, I want some good fists. Fists up by the chest. Let's picture somebody in front that's annoyed you again. Can be the same as before if you like. And we're just going to push forwards and back. All right. We're not looking for any particular intensity. Of course, if they really annoyed you, then a bit of catharsis goes a long way. But if they're right in front of you, then please don't put a comment on this on this video to words of that effect. I could end up in trouble for advocating violence. All right, reaching up to the ceiling now. We're going up tall. Again, if you can only get to here, that's absolutely fine. Just challenge it. You don't need to be up tall to challenge. That's it. But if you can, and feel the difference, really stretch up tall. Good. Bring the arms down. Right, we're going to go across the body now. So just like we did in the warm-up, but a little bit faster. So a little bit more purpose now. We should feel like we've got a little bit more energy in our bodies now. The spines should feel a little bit more mobile. And overall, we should be able to get a little bit more freedom in that move, so we can get a bit more out of it. Again, if someone's sitting quite close to you, I'd advise being careful on this one. You don't want to lose any friends. Cracking. God, I tell you what though, every time I scratch my face now, I get so self-conscious about it that I'm pretty sure my face is kind of rebelling against me and it's itchy all the time. Do you find that? When you're not allowed to do something, your body turns against you and makes you do it. Alright, good. Shake it all out. Alright, great. So that's pretty much the exercise part of it. I want to now go on to what we call a cool down. So a cool down isn't you getting cold. It is the opposite of the warm-up. So the warm-up, we were trying to increase the heart rate gradually and increase the blood flow around your body by increasing your blood pressure. The cool-down is the opposite. We're trying to bring everything back down to a resting level, but doing it in a gradual way, particularly if you've had any heart conditions in the past. or current, we need to be doing it very, very gradually. So we're going to start off on the shoulders again. So we're going to roll the shoulders. And we're going to roll them backwards. We always roll the shoulders backwards. As we go backwards, you'll feel the muscles in between your shoulder blades being challenged. If you go forwards, it's your chest that does all the work. You'll see as my shoulder comes forwards, the chest is then engaging. Which means that if you go forwards, you're exacerbating that poor posture, that roll of the shoulder, when actually we want to be back here. So we always roll the shoulders backwards. That's it. Good stuff. Alright, we're going to interlock the fingers now. We're going to reach up, take a big deep breath, and bring them back down again. Nice and slow. Release the hands, and then go again, reaching up, and down. Good. And one more time, reaching up. Excellent stuff. And down. Now, we're going to go on to the neck now. Now, this is very personal for me. Not personal for me as in personal. I mean as in, this is my own personal opinion. And that's that we always stretch the neck at the end of a session. So if you stretch it at the start, your body's still quite cold. The muscles aren't particularly flexible. We haven't got a lot of blood flowing to the area. So you're not going to get as much range of movement out of your neck. Also, you're going to be more likely to experience pain. And that can often put people off doing further exercise. So I always like to wait till the end to do a bit of a neck stretch. So that's what we're going to do now. And all we're going to do is gently look over one shoulder, take the chin towards the shoulder, and then slowly uncurl and head over the other side. So we do it nice and slowly, and just look over your shoulder, keeping your shoulders facing forwards, and we're just looking over. And now we're going to go back to the other side. And here now we're going to nod the chin down. So we're going to nod gently down so the chin goes down towards the collarbone. And then up towards the ceiling. And down. And then we're going to semicircle gently down and around to the other side, looking over the other shoulder, and tilt your head down, and up, and down. Tilt your head down all the way to the front, and then slowly rise. Okay, good, that's excellent. Now onto the shoulder. So we're going to pull one arm across the chest, and we're going to use the other arm to just gently pull it in towards the chest. And we're looking for a stretch around the back of the shoulder here. Now everyone is going to be very different. I've seen variations galore of this stretch. Essentially, all you're after is trying to get that stretch around the back. So if that's with a bent elbow and you pull the arm in towards the chest, that's perfectly acceptable. All right. Some of you, though, will be already quite flexible, in which case hold that arm out straight and then try and look over that shoulder. And that will increase the stretch. That's it. And release down. Good. Give it a shake. And take the arm over to the other side. Pull the arm in and look over your shoulder if you can. These stretches are exactly what it says on the tin. They're a stretch. They're not a pull. We're not looking to pull the muscles. We just want to stretch them to increase a bit of mobility, so there'll be a little bit of discomfort, but not loads. Okay? And release it off. And give it all a shake. That's great stuff. Well done. So we're now going to go on to the back. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to interlock the fingers. Fingers are going to go underneath the thighs, like so. And then we're going to let the head drop down and then pull up. So we're going to pull the shoulders upwards against that break of the hands. If you experience any pains in your shoulder in this, stop immediately. You don't need to do it. If you're getting pain in that shoulder joint or in your upper back, then just leave it out altogether. The mobility we've done prior to will be suffice. This is just a little bit of an extra stretch for those that can. So we're looking at in between the shoulder blades, stretching those bad boys out and letting the head drop down. And then we're going to slowly release the shoulders, slowly bring the head up, and then roll those shoulders back. That's it, one at a time, take it back. Good stuff. Alright, and that should be as nice and loose now. Okay, we're going to go to the legs now. So we're going to start off with one leg forwards. Now, if you have migrated to the back of your chair, which I know many of you will have done, let's hip walk back to the front. We want to be on the front of the chair because if you're too far back, then the front edge of the chair catches the back of the leg. And that's something to remember for all our future sessions as well. We always need to be close to the edge of the chair. Right, we're now going to take the elbow or the hand to the opposite leg, the leg that's currently bent. So we've got a straight leg, bent leg, and we've also got a nice relaxed ankle joint. So let that foot just go wherever it wants to go, and we're going to lean over that leg. And we're looking for some discomfort behind the leg. So if you're feeling a bit of a stretch down the back end of your leg, then you've got it right. If you haven't, try and lean a little bit further forwards. And we're trying to stretch off that hamstring. Now we're going to pull the toe back towards you. So this is what we were talking about earlier in terms of the calf muscle. So when we pull this toe back in towards the knee, it straightens, or it stretches rather, the calf muscle that's just back behind the knee, or below the knee rather. If you suffer with cramp, then the best thing to do is to stretch it. So try and remember this stretch, and if at night you feel that cramp coming on, then sit on the edge of your bed and get into this position, if it is safe to do so. If it's not safe, or if you're not quite sure, then what I would advise doing is during the day, practice doing it when you're fully awake and ready to go. All right? So pulling on that toe. Right, we're going to go on to the other side now. Straight leg, leaning forwards, chest down towards the knee. That's it. So we're looking for a slight discomfort behind the leg. And then pull that toe back up towards you, looking for the stretch. So, whilst we're doing this stretch, I want you to think about your clothing. When you were doing this session today, were you restricted by your clothing? Were your jeans a little bit tight? Were you perhaps wearing something that could have been a little bit looser? I'm not saying that from a weight loss perspective. I'm saying that because in future sessions it would be advisable to wear something nice and loose, nice and comfortable, so that when you're doing your exercises you're not restricted by your clothing. Anyway, that is all folks, as they say. Thank you very much for today. I hope you enjoyed it and I hope you will join us for further sessions. The plan is to get a routine out on a daily basis, so keep an eye on Facebook. My handle is Salad Dodgers, but all the details are on the screen at the end of this video. Hopefully I will see you again and you all feel all flexible and mobile and ready to face the day. Anyway, thank you very much, thank you for your attention, and I'll see you again soon.